Paul McCartney has spent more than 60 years writing the greatest love songs in modern music. His voice, his melodies, his lyrics, they belong to the world. But the truth behind those songs, the inspiration, the heartbreak, the secret connections, those have always belonged to him alone. Now at 83, Paul is finally pulling back the curtain on 7 women who shaped his heart and his art in ways fans never knew. These are not tabloid flings or casual romances. These are the women who carried pieces of his soul, the ones whose presence lingers in the quiet corners of his catalog. 1. Jane Asher. The woman who shaped young Paul's heart. Paul met actress Jane Asher in 1963, when Beatlemania was just beginning to roar. She wasn't simply a girlfriend. She was a creative force who pushed him into adulthood. They lived together, dreamed together, and Paul wrote some of his most heartfelt early songs with Jane in mind. And I love her, we can work it out. Even pieces of rubber soul grew from their connection. Behind closed doors, they shared a deep emotional and physical intimacy that helped Paul understand love on a grown-up level. When Jane ended their engagement in 1968, it left a crack in him that never fully closed. She was his first great love, the one who awakened the songwriter. 2. Linda McCartney, the soulmate who steadied him. After the whirlwind years, Paul met photographer Linda Eastman, a woman who valued honesty, family, and creativity over fame. Their marriage in 1969 became the emotional anchor of Paul's adult life. They toured together, raised children together, and built a bond that was tender, playful, and completely intertwined. Anyone who worked with Paul and Linda could see how connected they were, emotionally, artistically, intimately. Paul often said Linda made him feel like a real human being, not just a Beatle. Her death in 1998 shattered him in a way no public tribute could express. 3. Heather Mills, the passion that turned turbulent. A year after losing Linda, Paul met Heather Mills, young, fiery, and full of charisma. Their relationship was intense from the start. Friends said Paul was almost swept away by the passion of it. But what began with heat soon burned out. Their marriage unraveled publicly and painfully, leaving Paul bruised and more guarded than ever. He never revealed intimate details, choosing silence instead of retaliation. But it marked one of the most difficult chapters of his romantic life. 4. Nancy Shevell. The calm he needed. Then came Nancy Shevell, steady, kind, grounded. She wasn't part of the chaos of fame. She was part of the solution. Their relationship is built on affection, gentleness, and genuine companionship. With Nancy, Paul found something he hadn't felt since Linda: peace. 5. Stevie Nicks. The secret spark music insiders have whispered for decades about a brief electric connection between Paul and Stevie Nicks in the late 70s or early 80s. Neither ever confirmed it, but the chemistry between them was impossible to ignore whenever they crossed paths. Stevie represented artistic freedom and intensity, the kind of connection that leaves a lasting impression, even if it exists only for a moment. 6. Maureen Starkey. The mistake he never speaks of. One chapter Paul has always kept locked away involved Maureen Starkey, Ringo Starr's first wife. Their brief, intimate encounter created tension between the two Beatles that quietly lingered for years. Paul has never discussed it publicly, but those close to him say he carried the guilt privately. 7. Joan Baez. The road he almost took. In the late 1960s, Paul and folk legend Joan Baez shared a brief romantic moment during a time when both were exploring new worlds: activism, politics, and deeper meaning in their music. Their connection was short but profound, representing a life Paul might have chosen if fate had nudged differently. These 7 women didn't just cross Paul McCartney's path, they shaped his evolution, his music, and his understanding of love. Which story surprised you the most?